welcome back to Beyond the Studio Pilates. My name's Hannah, and today I want to take you through a really nice Pilates routine that's kind of perfect for any part of your day, however you're feeling. This is just a really nice, gentle routine that's going to build strength in pretty much your whole body. We're going to look at some really nice stretches as well, so it's a really kind of easy to get into routine. If you haven't done Pilates before, this is okay for you, and just stick with option one when I give options for the moves. And if you've not done Pilates for a few weeks because you've just been having a little bit of time off, this is a great kind of intro back into getting some movement through your whole body. I hope you really enjoy it. So from here we are going to do Swan Dive, and we're going to add in I'm going to give you two different options on arm lift as well. So we're coming down onto our front, and the first thing we need to think about is our setup. So your toes should be turned in so that your glutes are off. Arms are coming out so your elbow is in front of your shoulder. Eye line is staying down at the floor in front of you. Core engaged, pelvic floor on, shoulder blades melting down your back. Make sure your shoulders aren't up near your ears. From here we're going to take an inhale, then we're going to exhale. Bring your head, neck and shoulders off the floor, holding it here for an inhale and exhale. Gently back to the mat. Hold at the bottom for an inhale and exhale. Now when you get to the top, remember, nice long neck, eye line stays down in front of you, and there should be no discomfort on that lower back, so it's all coming from your upper back. Holding it here for an inhale and exhale. Gently down to the floor, holding at the floor for an inhale and exhale. Holding at the top. We're going to do two more. Exhale, gently back down to the floor. So this is really good for strengthening up through your upper back and improving your posture. So final two, inhaling at the bottom. Exhale, lift, core engaged. Make sure you're not pushing your belly into the mat. Shoulder blades sliding down your back. Hold it at the top. Exhale, gently back to the floor. Final time. Sliding those shoulder blades down your back, hold it, and then gently releasing back to the floor. So now we're going to add in two different arm options. So your arm options are come up, lift one, lower. Lift the other, lower. Now as you lift your arm, if you get any discomfort on that lower back, take the arm lift out. If you lift your arm and feel like you're rolling your whole body away from that arm, also take the arm lift out. You're not quite ready for it yet. If you can lift both arms and it's quite easy and it feels like it's comfortable and you're not pushing your belly into the mat, then you can lift both arms and then slowly lower. Your arms will go down before you take your head, neck and shoulders down. So you're not taking everything down at the same time. Arms come down, head, neck and shoulders come down. Going to do 4 of these. So holding at the bottom, core engaged, inhale, exhale, head, neck and shoulders come up, and then picking your arm lift. So either singles or doubles, and then slowly back to the mat. 3 more here. Keeping the movement nice and fluid. Remember, using your breath to control the speed of the movement. Final 2. Remember, there should be no discomfort on that lower back as you lift and lower through your arms. So final time. Okay, Then from here, bringing your knees together, bringing both feet up into the air. You're going to bring your right hand next to your right shoulder, leave your left arm where it is, look towards the right and take your feet over towards the left. Apply a little bit of pressure through your left hand so you get a nice stretch across your left chest. Hold it there. And bring your feet back to the middle, taking your right arm out, bring your left hand next to your left shoulder, look towards the left, take your feet over to the right, apply a little bit of pressure through that left hand and take that stretch through the right hand side of your chest. And bring your feet back to the middle, feet to the floor, right hand comes under your right shoulder. Push yourself back and you're going to come into your child's pose position, just stretching that back out in the other direction, holding it here for me. From here we are going to come onto our left hand side and we're going to do a little side kick series. So you're going to lie on your left, work the right, then we'll put some stuff in the middle and then we will do the other side. So coming down onto your left hand side, the first thing we need to think about is our setup. So your feet should be just in front of you. If you imagine you were standing, think about where your toes would be. You can bend that bottom leg a little bit if you need a little bit more support. Core engaged, little gap under that low back. Top hand comes down in front for some support as well. From here, we're going to gently lift that top leg to hip height. Holding it there, we're going to bring the other leg up to meet it. Hold for an inhale. And then exhale, slowly lower that bottom leg back down. Now when you bring your legs up, careful you don't either slide your feet backwards or arch your back. So you've got to keep your legs just in front of you, core engaged. So your core is really helping to stabilize you here. And then you're going to gently lower that leg down. So we're inhaling at the bottom. Exhale, lift. Hold for an inhale. Exhale, lower. Hold at the bottom, inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower. Try not to push too much weight onto this hand. If you find that your knuckles are going white, you're putting too much pressure rolling forward. Think core, rib to hip. So holding that leg there, inhale. Exhale, lift. Hold, inhale. Exhale, lower. So it's just a really little movement, but just a really good workout for your legs. We're going to do 3 more. Inhaling at the bottom. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower. Holding for an inhale. Exhale, lift. Keep thinking belly button to spine, core engaged. Exhale, lower. Final time, holding for an inhale. And exhale. Ooh, bit wobble there. Hold for an inhale. And then exhale. Gently back to the mat. Okay, from here you're going to bend that top leg, gently bring it down in front of the bottom leg. You can roll your hip forward slightly, but try not to roll everything forward. Try and stay as upright as you can. Core engaged, pelvic floor on. Flexing that bottom foot, and then we're going to lift that bottom leg, and we're going to do 5 little pulses higher. 3, 2, 1, and then gently lowering that leg back down. I'm going to do 5 more of these. Lift and pulse. and then slowly lower. Cramp in my top leg, that's different. Lift and pulse. 2, 1, and slowly lower. And again, lift and pulse. 2, 1, and slowly lower. Final 3, core engaged, lift and pulse. Slowly lower, and final 2, lift and pulse. And slowly lowering that leg back down. Final time, lift and pulse. And slowly lowering that leg back down. Well done. Bringing those legs back together and then finding your way back up to sitting, and we're going to go on to our backs next. So you're coming down onto the mat. Where's my head cushion gone? So finding your way to the floor. Knees, hips and feet are all in alignment. Next, thinking about your pelvis. So your pelvis should be tilted so that tailbone is pointing away. And if you just put your palms on your hip bones, fingers down towards your pubic bone, if you then lift your hands off, they should be roughly in a straight line. There shouldn't be a real over exaggeration of angle. There also should still be a little gap under that low back, making sure that your ears and collarbone are kind of in line. Eye line is straight to the ceiling. Arms are just gently resting on the floor. Then I'm going to give you 2 options. Option 1 is the easier option. Option 2 slightly trickier, so you can pick the one that works for you. I'm going to take an inhale to prepare. Then you're going to exhale. Bring one leg to tabletop. Knee comes to over hip, shin parallel with the ceiling. From here, then going to point your toe to the ceiling, keeping your pelvis in neutral. Flex your foot towards your face so you get a nice little bit of a hamstring and calf stretch. Point your toe away again, bring your leg back to tabletop, and then from your hip move that leg back to the floor and bring the other leg up. Knee comes to over your hip, shins parallel with the ceiling. Point your toe to the ceiling. Flex your foot towards your face, point your toe away, back to tabletop, and then move that leg back to the floor. So that's option 1. Option 2, you're going to bring both legs to tabletop, and then we're going to lift, flex, back to tabletop, and you'll just tap the floor instead. So you're pointing, flexing, pointing, tabletop, tap, making sure that movement comes from your hip back to tabletop. So we're going to do 6 on each side. Here we go. So we're going to point, flex, point, tabletop, tap or change legs, back to tabletop, point, flex, point, tabletop, tap or change legs, back to tabletop. Core engaged, keeping your pelvis nice and still. Make sure you're not rocking that pelvis around, keeping that little gap under your low back, your shins parallel with the ceiling when they're in tabletop. And remember, if you have got both legs in tabletop, as you take that leg to the floor to tap, your opposite leg shouldn't come any closer, so it stays in tabletop. It's not moving in to help you out. Really flexing that foot towards your face. And I think we're halfway there, so another 3 on each leg. Keep thinking belly button to spine, pelvic floor on, keeping everything nice and controlled. Make sure you're breathing. You can just breathe when you like at the moment, so there's no set breath for this movement. And we've got 2 more to go, making sure you're moving from your hip as you change leg or as you tap the floor. Keeping your shins parallel with the ceiling. We're going to do 1 more on each side. Keeping rib to hip connection. Keep drawing the ribs down towards your hips. Final little tap, and then bring 1 leg down and 2 legs down if you've got both legs up, and taking a full body stretch. Okay, from here we're going to go onto a really nice hip roll. So you're going to bring your knees and your ankles together, core engaged, keeping your spine and pelvis both in their neutral positions. Arms come out just a little bit wider this time so they can just give you a little bit of support. Going to take an inhale in the middle. Then we're going to exhale. We're going to gently take your knees over to the left. Now your feet can kind of roll off to the floor so they're on the side of your foot, and your hip can come off the floor, but your shoulder blades must stay on the floor. Holding it here for an inhale. And then exhale. Use those core muscles, bring yourself back to the middle. So this is working kind of deeper into your lower abdominals. Holding it in the middle for an inhale. Exhale, rolling those legs to the right just as far as you can without that shoulder blade coming off the floor. Keep that rib to hip connection as well. Make sure you haven't flared those ribs or arched your back. Hold it for an inhale. Exhale, back to the centre. We're going to do 4 more to each side. So gently rolling to the left. Holding it there. And then exhale, back to the centre. Hold in the middle, pelvic floor on, core engaged. And again, gently to the side. Holding it there, make sure your shoulder blades remain on the floor. Exhale, back to the middle. So final 2 to each side. So by using the breath, this is a really good opportunity for you to practice a longer exhale than inhale, because the inhale is a little pauses and the exhale is the rolling movement. So it should naturally mean that your exhale is slightly longer than your inhale. So final 1 to each side. And then taking 1 leg out and 2 legs out, and again giving yourself a full body stretch. And then finding your way back to sitting, and we're going to do our other side of side kick. So we're coming down onto the right hand side this time, working into our left hand side. So thinking about your setup first, so remember your feet need to be in front of you, chin is lifted, core engaged, top hand in front for some support if you need it, but try not to kind of white knuckle the floor. If you notice that your hand is kind of going a bit white, it probably means you're putting a lot of pressure forward. Try and just move your hip backwards, keep yourself stabilized through your core. From here, we're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift that top leg. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lift the bottom leg. Hold for an inhale. Exhale, gently lower that leg back down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale again, lifting that leg up. Careful your back doesn't go into extension or your feet don't try and move backwards. Holding there. And then gently lowering that leg back down. Inhaling at the bottom. Exhale, lift. Hold for an inhale. And then exhale, lowering back down. Hold at the bottom for an inhale. And then exhale. Slowly back up, holding it there. Inhale. Exhale. Gently back to the floor. We're halfway there. 4 more to go. Core engaged. Keep your chin lifted. Okay, final 2, core engaged. Make sure you're not pushing too much weight into that front hand. Keep your hips stacked, one on top of the other. Final little lift. And then gently lower that leg down, bending that top leg. Bring that top leg down in front of you, and then we're going to flex that bottom foot, gently lift, and then 5 little pulses. And then slowly lowering that leg back down, core engaged, lift and pulse. And then slowly lower, and again lift and pulse. And slowly lower, and again lift and pulse. And slowly lowering that leg back down. Final 2 here, doing really well. Keep that chin lifted, core engaged. And slowly lower, and final time, lift and pulse. And slowly lowering that leg back down and finding your way back up to sitting. Thanks for joining me for my everyday Pilates routine. I hope you found it really beneficial. Check out my playlist and subscribe if you're enjoying them. You can also join me and become a member of my on-demand studio by following the links on my website. Take care, have a super day.